Hi, I'm always working casually, and today we'll be doing a little analysis of this Deathmarch Expanse fight and how to fight around bends. But first, let's go over some of the basics of ZVZ. A Zerg is comprised of tanks, DPS, and healers. Tanks are positioned up front to protect the Zerg and find engagements, DPS is in the middle to follow up and deal damage, and healers are in the back to safely support the Zerg. In a normal ZVZ, there are two basic ways to engage. On the left, we can see one method in which DPS place their damage on enemy tanks, dealing minimal damage. This allows the enemy to counter-engage while our own spells are on cooldown. Not good. On the right, we can see another method, in which DPS form a concave in order to place damage on the enemy's back lines. Very good. Dealing effective damage and forcing them to retreat. Now that we've looked at a textbook example, let's go look at a ZVZ in the flesh. Here we have a bottom screen fight, so we don't have the advantage. Our tanks are up front, which is pretty good. Our DPS, a few are out of position.
Saying hi, like if you don't have me on your screen, do something. Come back north here, come back north to the left toss room, come back north, we're east and west. I'm trying to engage. Pull west here, let the waster engage, pull west here, pull west here, boys. They're gonna just blow everything, let's counter.
Here's where the counter engage begins. As the enemy spells end, tanks need to start moving forward to get some stuns.
Engage now, let's counter engage now, off west, counter engage now. I'm gonna stun their whole team here. Can we drop AoEs on this? Can we drop AoEs on this whatsoever? Can we drop AoEs on this now?
Though we get a decent engage, the only person to really go deep is Bruno 2K, and he does a decent amount of damage.
We self-fast and pull like west here, No, let's pull east, Not gonna get top screen. Does everyone pull east? Pull northeast. We'll fall back northeast here. Listen to me, northeast towards territory here. Then while I'm back, pull northeast here, boys. We're gonna round this bend. Let's go around this bend here. Don't clump on that, man. Don't clump on that, man. We're gonna go around this bend.
I'd like to take a second to ask why those two groups of people were even peeling off in the first place.
Listen. You men are chasing one that. We're gonna go around this bend. Okay, get ready and re-engage on this bend. Get ready and re-engage here. Hold.
While a normal choke has two pieces of geography that funnel the players, a bend choke has only one piece of geography. And by baiting the enemy into trying to round that bend, the enemy is easily clumped to the corner. Let's take a look at a few other examples from past ZVZs and see the clumps that are created by a bend.
Pull us into the bridge.
Here we can see the enemy trying to all take the shortest route around the lake to the northwest. In doing so, they clump up. Here as well, we can see the enemy trying to get around this bend in the road, creating huge clumps that are easy to re-engage on.
They're about to push. Come back east. Let them cross the bend. Let them go past the bend.
Now that we know what a bend choke is and how it functions, we better understand what the shot caller is talking about. Here we need to move our forces east, but these tanks here are scaring the enemy away.
Okay, our re-engage is up in maybe like 5 seconds here. Get ready to re-engage. Healers, you gotta heal the tanks up front.
The enemy is pushing the rocks, so the call for re-engage is made. But look where our DPS are. Playing so far back they won't be able to follow up. DPS have to have reds on the edge of their screen to follow up effectively, and that's about 1 screen's of distance in terms of space. Watch the DPS take a good 5 seconds from the stun landing to the DPS dropping. We could have gotten 8 kills here, but no one dies.
If we gotta re-engage, like DPS gonna come down the hill now. Can we re-engage now? That's a huge clump, boys. That's a huge clump. I'm stunning that again. Drop AoEs on that. Okay, back up east now. Back up the east now. Back up east now, boys. We're gonna get a clump. If you don't see a clump, don't drop AoEs on it. Okay, DPS go back up the hill. They're gonna push up the fucking hill now. It's fine. I'm gonna try to push it now. Yeah, get ready to re-engage. Hold.
This engagement is a great example of a counter engage. Our tanks get positioned while our DPS back up. The enemy DPS lands short. They're now left with no sprints and no damage as we counter engage.
Can we re-engage now? I'm gonna start. Listen, they're all coming to that choke. Boys. You gotta drop AoEs on that shit now. Keep dropping AoEs in there. Boys. Keep dropping AoEs in there. Okay, that's good. And we killed a lot. Hold. Don't push this. We killed a lot there, boys. Hold this. Yeah, kill that fucking thing. Keep holding this.
Não para pra lutear esses corpos. Vai, não para. Não para.
Look how many combat leaders we're killing. Don't be like those. Come back east.
This happens a lot between engagements. The Zerg inches forward like lemmings. If DPS are following tanks, and healers are following both of them, it's up to the tanks to set the pace of the Zerg. Here the tanks inch so far forward we actually make the rocks bad for us, since we'd actually have to run through them to disengage.
You should not be in front of that tanks. You should have like reds on your screen. I mean, you shouldn't even have reds on your screen at this point. Like they're falling way too far back. You guys should spread out way. You should be way the fuck back, and you use your sprints, run in there, can be. They're trying to get you guys to back up. Yeah, why waste an E like that? Don't waste your E's on this man. He's gigantified. Stop fucking hitting him. He's gigantified. There's no point hitting him.
Não gasta isso nele, ele tá gigantificado.
I guess we can kill this man now.
Zal ik aankleden weer terugkomen?
And here's a part where they completely disregard the shot collar and clump up anyways on the tank. Look at the soul scythe coming in.
Back up, you're not a clump now. You might actually die for that. Like I told you not to hit him. Fuck. Okay, spread out. They wasted locusts, soul size, hill DPS, get ready to push.
So there's a blue army guy over here. I don't know if they might show up or not. But...
Here's a terrible counter engage. Our tanks aren't positioned correctly at all. Some are still retreating. As the enemy spells end, tanks should be advancing to get position. Right now, they're right here, when really, they should be up here. I count about 20 enemies stuck on our side of the rocks, yet we only get 2 kills from this because the tanks are out of position.
Okay, can we counter engage now? They just waste everything. Counter engage now. We just done the backline. Yo, we need to drop AUs west down.
Full west down.
Full west down. Full west down.
NW. Full NW.
Okay, back up now. We killed a lot. Back up now, boys. Yo, come further south. You men are too far north. Come further south. Like, you should have the hill on your screen. Either you're on the hill, or you should have the hill. It's too far north.
They're bailing. Some on the mountain.
Yeah. I'm gonna go in for a stun. Yo, I just stunned the whole team. Literally the whole team, boys. Literally the whole team. Can we engage on this? Okay, no, they defense it. They used everything. Back up. Boys. Everyone needs to back up now. Use soul size. Use wind.
The enemy runs all the way to the northwest, and then we follow them, dismounting here.
Spawn. Everybody to spawn. Oh, it looks like they baited me, boys. Spread out north to south. Wait. Spread out north.
Save me.
Can we counter engage?
They're all on me. They're all on me.
I just stunned the whole team. I stunned the whole team.
So here we can see an example of what happens if you all clump on one person and the enemy engages on you.
Boys, I just stunned the whole team, you boy. Drop AUs on us now. Everything on us now.
Oh.
Throw everything on us now. And back off this choke. Back off this choke now, boys. Back up east. Keep throwing shit in there, but back up east now. These kids are so fucking garbage, dude. I don't like, why do these kids play this game and have like 2 IQ? Okay, back up east now. Our counter engage is gonna be up in like 10 seconds. When we engage, they just back themselves in the corner, right? Tanks, look at me. We're gonna counter engage here again. Can we sprint now? Up this hill. Can we catch them in this choke? Okay, no. Don't clump on that bend. Come back east. No. Back up east. Everybody east.
They're countering.
I hope you noticed that bend choke there. That's what we're going to be fighting around. Let's take a look at this from the macros perspective first. As the enemy approaches the bend, their tanks can only engage onto our tanks. The DPS will try to drop on the first thing that they see, and what they stun will be tanks. In return, our own DPS can run up to the wall and drop on the now clumped DPS and heals from the enemy side.
Everybody. Can we counter engage on the choke? I stunned the whole team again. On the choke.
Think about the graphic we just saw. As the enemy is engaging on us and we counter engage with stuns, we need to have our DPS at the southwest to drop damage on the clumps as they come around the bend. Instead, it all comes from the southeast and lands short onto their tanks.
West, boys. Everything west. Boys, throw shit west and back off.
We're wiping them.
West and back off. Back off now, boys. Back off now, boys. Listen to the call. I said back off now, boys. Come on, listen. Back off now, boy. We gotta heal up here. We're all half health. Okay, listen. Does everyone see where recovery? Yeah. High. All their DPS clump up on this hill here. All of my DPS need to throw AoEs on that hill. All right, understood? I'm gonna tanks walk up again. Tanks walk up again. All right. Tanks walk up again. DPS stay back.
They're flanking. They're flanking west.
Okay. Everybody come east. No. Everyone back up east. Everyone back up east. Everybody back way the fuck east. Everyone back way the fuck east.
Since their flank failed, We go in for an engagement, but the DPS is way too far back, and only about half of it actually lands. We could have wiped them all here.
Back way the fuck east. Can we stun? Can we stun? Can we stun in? Yo, I just stunned the whole team again. I stunned the whole fucking team again, boys. I stunned the whole fucking team again. Everything south. Everything south, boys. Everything south. Throw everything south. Everything south then back off. Everything south then back off. Siege foes, you gotta get a little bit deeper. You're hitting nothing. You're literally hitting nothing. All of the siege foes are hitting nothing. You gotta wait, way the fuck deeper. Go back east.
See where recovery girl is.
Southeast. Move south. No, everyone shut the fuck up. Move southeast. Move southeast. Move southeast. Move southeast, please. Southeast with ellipsis. Southeast with ellipsis. Please move southeast.
And here's the bend where we're going to fight our next fight at. As you run through the battle, you should take note of where these kind of engagement points are.
Thank you. Southeast now. Listen to the direction. I'm fucking sick. Fuck me. Ugh.
If you die, right here and come back, please. DME now.
When they cross that bend, when they get over that bend, we re-engage. Look, you gotta hit their DPS. Seizures, gotta hit their DPS. Stop hitting the fucking tanks. I'm gonna go in for a stun now. I just stunned the whole team again. You guys drop everything here. Wipe them here, boys. Throw everything west. Everything west, boys. Everything west. You guys are too late now. Back up. You made a clump for no reason. Back up. Back up now. You missed the AoE. Back up now. Use wind walls now. They're gonna try to engage now. Use wind walls. Back up selfie. Alright, every engage should be up in 5 seconds.
Think about the graphic we just saw. As the enemy is engaging on us and we counter-engage with stuns, we need to have our DPS at the southwest to drop damage on the clumps as they come around the bend. Instead, it all comes from the southeast and lands short onto their tanks.
Can we re-engage now? They're passing choke now. We just stunned the whole team again. DPS, you gotta sprint up here. DPS, you gotta get up here, boys. DPS, you gotta get up here. Throw AoEs in there. Boys. Come on. Northwest, boys. Northwest. Then back off here. Back off here, boys. Back off here, boys.
All in all, it's a decent fight. We still win, but there's just a few engagements where we could have wiped them right then and there and ended the whole thing earlier. Thanks for watching the video.